little bit about your family.
You want to start?
Sure. We've been married for 22 years and met here in Austin, and we have 2 children. We have our son Jeffrey is 17 and our daughter Elise is 15. Elise drove me to church tonight, so we're getting used to that. It's been a joy to raise our children, and they've really been a blessing to us. And that doesn't mean there haven't been significant challenges, but we just are really proud of who they are and the people they're becoming.
And Elise is a sophomore in high school, and Jeffrey is a senior, so we're about ready to launch him off to college.
All right. Well, what is one of your favorite memories as parents?
You got one?
I've got lots. I would say, when I think of memory, my first thought was something they did when they were little, and I could think of lots and lots of things. But I think the most amazing transformation or memory that I have of our kids is seeing them go from fighting all the time to where we thought they would never be friends. And I don't know how many times I said to them, if you treated your friends the way you treated your brother or sister, you would have no friends. But when Elise started high school 2 years ago, it was like a light switch went off, wouldn't you say? And all of a sudden, they became friends. Not that there's no fighting, but it was just that memory for me is when all of a sudden we realized, I think they like each other.
We'd been pleading with them for years to be friends with each other.
Yeah,
and
and
when
not
finally,
be so ugly.
When they both reached a level of maturity that allowed them to do that, it's been a real neat to watch, a great change that we prayed for.
Absolutely.
And, because those were hard years. That sibling rivalry and conflict thing is a tough thing.
And I don't think they were unusual. I think they're a lot alike, so I think they butted heads probably maybe more than most kids. I don't know. They fought a lot, and it's just been wonderful to see that change.
I've told this story several times. I don't know why it sticks out in my memory, but Jeffrey was a very verbal child. Even at age 2, he spoke in complete sentences. He was really it was really amazing how verbal he was, and he's continued to be quite verbal. But one of the things he was really good at was giving these orations and these dramatic presentations. I have a memory of him standing on our hearth, which is an elevated hearth, and just going on and on with some speech that I guess he'd made up. I don't know, but it was.
But it always started out with ladies and gentlemen,
yeah, it's
boys
like he was
and girls.
He was like what's the guy at the circus, the head guy at the
yeah.
circus, and so it's just that kind of dramatic flair that he's always had. And now we've just recently found out that he's going to major in Bible and wants to be a preacher, and so that all kind of comes around full circle. Makes sense now.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. What switching gears? What is one of the lessons that you've learned as parents?
I'll start with that one. I was not that young of a parent. I was almost 40 when our first was born, and so I started much later than most. And even so, I struggled early on. I struggled with controlling my anger with my kids, and I think I've seen my self-control grow as I've grown in parenting, to where that's been a good lesson for me, is to kind of learn how to handle situations without being angry about it. And I'm thankful that.
You also had a father that had a lot of anger.
That is true, and yeah, that may be part of it. Yeah. But I look back on things I did when they were young. You know how kids can push your buttons, and some of the angry moments I had, and I'm really sorry that those happened. But it's much better now.
I think the best piece of advice, or the best thing I heard somebody say that I think we took to heart and did our best to do, and I think it was actually a Growing Kids God's Way seminar that we took. And what he said is that it's easy. Everybody raises kids that they love and enjoy being around, but the true challenge is to raise kids that other people want to be around. And I remember that just really hit home to me. And so I feel like we did our best. Our kids have been around. We've had lots of people in our home. We've taken our kids to not everything. I mean, we do things without our kids, but they've been to weddings ever since they were little. They've been to funerals for people they maybe didn't know really well, but I felt like they needed to be exposed to that. And I think because they were around lots of different circumstances, they learned how to interact with adults on a real natural basis. And I think that I really wanted to raise kids that people liked and that people enjoyed being around. And I don't know that we succeeded all the time, but I think for the most part, our kids know how to interact with other adults and have done well with that. And I don't know that I can even tell you exactly what we did to make that happen. But I know that was a real effort that we made to do that. We want to have kids that are pleasant in other people's homes, even if it means you can lecture them before you get there, and there are consequences if they don't, but you want them to be people that other people enjoy being around.
Well, great. Well, thanks for sharing. We'll look forward to more in January.
All right. Thank you.